Fellow tennis nerds, I hope you are well. I have tried many pro stock rackets over the years. I have Novaks at home, I have Tommy Haas, I have Andrew Agassi, I've tried Rafa's racket, I've tried Del Potro's racket, I tried a bunch of pro player rackets. What you learn from that is that they are made for the pros and not for me. But in some cases, of course, they are more easy to use than others. And the pros are not playing as heavy as they used to do. I've talked about that many times, that the trends of pro player rackets are definitely that they're going down in weight. They're becoming easier to swing. Some pros play even lighter than you guys out there, right? They play really light rackets, swing them fast, and use their game. So it has to work for your game. So this video is about Alex De Minaur's personal frame that I got thanks to Holy Tennis as a loan. And I'm actually gonna send one out to you guys. And we're gonna do a giveaway. We're doing it on Instagram, Tennis Nerd Insta, Holy Tennis. Check out our Instagram giveaway. Hopefully not too late when you're watching this. We're gonna do a week or so and give away this frame. And it's his personal racket, has his logo on it. It's not been used before, so it's from his personal batch. There are a few more maybe to buy at Holy Tennis. Used to be. Use Tennis Nerd 5 to purchase a racket from there. They have Pythons, they have H22s, they have a bunch of pro stocks, probably more coming. De Minaur's racket works for him. And why does it work for him? It's because it is a racket that would suit a pretty flat hitter who takes the ball early. It's a tank, it's a heavy racket. It's not crazy heavy, but it feels heavy. Has a semi-beefy swing weight and a denser pattern than what you would buy in the store. So his racket is the Steam 99 mold, which is re-released, or was re-released last year as the Ultra Pro 99. What's inside the racket is different though. The layup is softer, more muted on the Ultra Pro 99. Feels like that one has a bigger sweet spot, but it's also more wild. The Steam 99 has a smaller sweet spot, but it is a little bit more direct, so you know where the ball is going. That's how I would describe them. I've talked to pro players who've tried both, and they would probably agree with that. That's our conversations pretty much summarized. But it's still an interesting frame, this one, Steam 99. And in De Minaur's case, it's also a little bit different, because it has a 16-19 pattern instead of the standard 16-18. More open pattern, higher launch on the ball, would suit a player who rips more underneath the ball. Denser patterns, if you hit more through and you want more precision. De Minaur takes the ball early, aggressive player, very good mover, of course. So this suits him better, 16-19. He's not the tallest guy in the world, and maybe that is why he's using a longer frame, 27.5 inches. There are no real pro stock rules in tennis, but it would make sense that he would try a longer frame, get a bit more pop on the serve, a bit more reach out in the corners, a little bit more power generally because you have a higher swing weight, a bit more beef, a bit more weight and mass on the ball. Worth trying a longer frame maybe for you guys. If you haven't already, you're gonna have one con pretty much, I would say, and that's the maneuverability, which is a big con. Because if you're a guy who likes to rip and swing fast, or you tend to be kind of late on the ball, the maneuverability is going to be very, very important. Many amateur players still play too heavy. And I've been in the same situation myself. And I see players all the time of different levels that play really heavy, very demanding rackets. And it does not do them any favors, can lead to wrist issues, hitting the ball late, like the forearm gets a lot of vibrations. For some players it works well though. So it's a very personal take there. You can't say that everyone should use a light, easy racket. It's not going to work. It's very much based on personal preferences for the pros and for amateurs. So it's logical that it's that way. You're kind of grooving your game with a racket. You're becoming a part of the racket. If you use the racket for 10 years, you're not very prone to change. You love that racket. It's an extension of your arm. But if you are testing new rackets, there will be a process. Can be a very difficult one, can be a quicker one depending on your predisposition and maybe the kind of advice you get and how sure you are within the spec range and so on. But generally, if you have a racket you love, stick with that, because it can be quite difficult to find a racket you like as much. Again, that's just my general advice, unless you need more power, more spin, more comfort, or something that's very clearly lacking from your current setup. De Minaur, I think he's happy. He has the longer length, he has the 16-19 pattern. His specs, not crazy heavy, but not light either. And definitely the balance is a little bit interesting. Many pros really favor like the balance as like the most important spec. That's where they feel like, okay, this is how the racket comes through. This is how it feels when I swing at the ball. So balance, super important for them. He's having a pretty balanced balance in a way that the racket is 34 centimeters strong. And that's exactly on the midpoint. Pretty much is actually a longer frame, so maybe then a little bit more headlight. But this racket is definitely feeling like a log when you swing it. Nothing nuts about that, but it is heavy. For most amateurs, 340 is at the upper range of what they can handle. I would say even 330 these days is what you know should be your ceiling. And if you go higher than that, it's gonna be demanding and pretty heavy, and could be arm unfriendly after a while. I mean, I've talked about Sinner playing light. I've talked about Alcaraz playing light. They swing very fast. They have you know, amazing technique and everything, footwork, but they're using rackets that are a little bit easier to play. And better to copy those guys if you have to copy anyone, but you need to find your own way. That's really my advice. But De Minaur, his racket works for him, might not work for you unless you can see yourself as a De Minaur player. I did like this racket from a playing point of view, but I did feel like one day when I'm fresh and I'm attacking the ball and I'm moving my legs properly, it's pretty good. I feel like it has a lot of plow through. I put a lot of pressure on my opponents. Taking the ball early, hitting flat is kind of what I like to do anyway. But on the days when I'm a little bit off and the things are not flowing so smoothly, the balls feel a bit old or whatnot, then I felt it is too heavy for me personally. So I felt like I was a little bit late on the ball. The racket started feeling a bit heavy after 1 hour and a half or so. So you always have to think a little bit about, like, in a match situation, 90 minutes in, you're gonna play a third set. How do you feel? You know, are you going to be able to swing this racket fully in that situation? But if you're a huge De Minaur fan, like, you can purchase this racket from Holy Tennis if there's still any left. Tennis Nerd 5 for 5% off. And you can always put it on the wall. I mean, you can play with it. You can always fun to try, and probably a decent resale value if you don't like it. So not the most forgiving, not the easiest to swing, not the most spin friendly. But if you're hitting the ball flat and you're hitting it well and you're reacting, taking it early, then I think this racket makes a lot of sense. De Minaur strings it with Luxlon 4G rough in the mains and natural gut in the crosses. Many pros use still natural gut hybrids. It's a popular setup for a reason. Takes a little bit of that stiffness and harshness from the poly, makes it a bit more palatable, easier on the arm, and some more power. And if you're playing flat, sure. If you're a ripper, if you're playing with a lot of spin, if you were like Alcaraz or even Sinner, I think natural gut wouldn't work so well. But for a player like De Minaur, I think natural gut makes a lot of sense. I see some similarities in his game to Tommy Paul, who also plays gut crosses. So 4G rough, gut cross, nice setup. If you haven't tried a gut hybrid, what are you doing? You should try a gut hybrid. Depends a lot on your style though. If you're a ripper, a spin player, that might not work. But if you're a player who likes to go through the ball and get a bit more extra pop and comfort, natural gut is a nice setup for sure. String tension, sometimes it's down to 43 pounds, sometimes it's up to 52 pounds. It's a range depending on conditions. If it's cold and the ball is not moving so fast, he probably wants to go to the 43 or around there, go down in tension. If it's warm, the balls are moving fast, then he wants to go up in tension. There's a reason players on the Pro Tour change rackets when it's time for new balls, because when you have new balls, the balls are going to fly. When you have old balls, the balls are not moving through, and you want the racket to help you a bit more. It's where equipment really makes a difference, actually, and that's why you're seeing them also looking at the balls when they're choosing a ball. Sometimes I get questions from people like, why are they looking at the balls? Why are they taking time to actually choose one of the balls? That seems irrelevant or seems a little bit weird, but it's actually seeing like which one has fluffed up the least or is the most fresh, so I can have a bit more pop on my serve. Or one ball maybe is dead, which happens, and balls play a huge role in tennis. We've done a ball poll. We've recently reviewed Learner Tien's racket on the channel, so please subscribe. Check out tennisnerd.net for more pro player specs. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Interesting frame. I liked it. Not the easiest to use, but it suits De Minaur's game for sure. Have a nice day now, and don't forget to play some tennis.